Hello everybody, welcome back to Bites MD. Today I'm going to show you how to make my favorite comfort food. It is Vietnamese beef stew, also known as Bò Kho. It's very similar to beef bouillon because the French did colonize Vietnam for quite some time. So normally this is served with for breakfast or lunch or dinner, usually with a baguette and an egg on top or sometimes with rice noodles. But today I personally prefer egg noodles, so I'm going to serve with egg noodles. We're going to be using a beef finger cut. Beef finger cut is a cut that is very rich in flavor. It is located in between the ribs. Feel free to use whatever beef of cut you want. Chuck roast, beef brisket. I usually like a little bit of fat just for more flavor. We're going to start off with boiling some water. I'll put my beef ribs in the boiling water. I'm just going to parboil the beef. This will help get rid of any of the impurities, and this way we're going to have a more richer flavor with the stew. My beef has come to a boil. I'm just going to strain this out. Give these quick rinse just to get rid of all the rest of the impurities, and we'll let this cool and we'll season it. This step is optional if you're feeling lazy. I have here tomatoes on the vine. I personally prefer tomatoes on the vine more just because it's a little bit more aromatic. We're just going to loosely chop these up and we're going to put them in a blender. And we're going to coarsely chop it up because it will break down in the stove. This will be the base of our marinade. I have here some Bò Kho seasoning cubes. These are basically just a combination of salt, sugar, beef fat, curry powder, annatto, star anise, and cinnamon. They're pretty cheap. They're about $1 for a whole pack. I usually like the box one, but find ones that has a little bit less preservatives than just the seasoning itself. And we're going to reduce this down, and we're going to use this to marinate our beef. We'll put it on low heat, and we'll slowly let it simmer down. Pro tip, you can save these for a vegetable stock in the future. Cut the carrots however you want. I like them in, keep in mind this is a hearty stew, so you want them in chunks. So this is pretty good, about 2 inches. This is lemongrass. Most of the flavor is actually located in the stem here. So you want to bruise these to open up the flavor. Usually I just take the handle off the blade and smash it open. You can already smell the flavor being released right now. This top part right here, this one's pretty fresh, so there's still quite a bit of flavor. So I'm gonna smash it open, but usually, most of the time when you buy in the grocery stores, usually it's only about that much. These are Thai chili peppers or red-eye chili peppers. These are extremely spicy, so be careful on how much you use. So for like a huge pot of stew, this is probably too much already. Oh, tip, always curl your finger. So this way, when you're slicing, you're not slicing your finger. And remember to wash your hands afterwards. So our beef have cooled down. We're just gonna cut it in chunks, about 2 inches as well. Okay, our beef are cut up. I'm gonna add in our little tomato paste and sauce in there. And we'll also add some fish sauce. If you have no idea what fish sauce is, don't add fish sauce, and also don't look at how it's made. We're only gonna add like a teaspoon. And a little bit of soy sauce, probably a tablespoon there. And we're just gonna mix this up. I'm adding the tomato into the seasoning because tomato is acidic and also helps tenderize the meat a little bit more. We're going to let this marinate for at least half an hour. Ideally 4 hours, even overnight if you could. We're going to mince some ginger and garlic. To peel the ginger, I usually recommend using a spoon as it's easier to get to the crevices. Make your life easier, get a blender. We'll add a little bit of oil. This wok is actually passed down by 3 generations. You get a good wok, it can last forever. The nice thing about woks is you see how it's the concave. The heat tends to trap a lot more there. And it's good for stir frying and stuff like that. Get the so-called dragon's breath. Put a good amount of oil. We'll add a tablespoon of our ginger and shallots. Once I'm starting to see some cut and I can smell the ginger and the shallots, I'm going to add our beef. We're going to cook this in small batches, so this way we get a nice brown mild reaction. I'm basically adding a whole lemongrass per batch. And then I'm going to just put this back into our pot. Now I'm going to deglaze the wok with vegetable stock. I really like to use vegetable stock as I find it brings out the sweetness naturally. Coconut water. Chicken stock. We're going to toast our aromatics, and then we can actually put these on the fire and grill them, but I'm being a little lazy today. Once the aromatics are toasted, we're just going to drop it in our stew. You don't want to add too much star anise as it's pretty bitter. I usually just use 2 star anise and 1 cinnamon stick. Once everything is nice and charred, we're going to put it into our stew. I probably let it simmer for about an hour, depending on the cut of beef you want. You want to simmer for longer, or if you have a pressure cooker, you can make it faster. I just brought it back to a boil, and I'm going to add my carrots in. And then for a little kick, I'm adding in some of the chili pepper. Give this a nice stir, and then we're just going to let it sit for another hour, and it's ready. These are fresh egg noodles. They cook extremely fast, probably like 15 seconds or so. Feel free to substitute with rice noodles or baguette, or if you want to be really healthy, you can substitute this with barley. Fresh basil.